Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for taking some time to join me for today's video. We have wildcard weekend coming up, and I wanted to prep us with a game preview. In the video today, I'm going to go over the 3-seed Bills game against the 6-seed Patriots game on Saturday night. It should be an absolutely epic rubber match. Each team took one of these games in the regular season. In this video, I'm going to go over offensive and defensive looks at each team. I'm going to talk about the coaching as well. We know that that is critical come playoff time. And then I'm going to circle back at the end, give my final thoughts, and make a pick. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please consider liking and subscribing. Your support means the world to me and it helps me out so very much. I appreciate all my current subs. Shout out to you guys as well. If you guys disagree with anything that I'm talking about here, my views on the game, please drop it down below. I would love to be able to engage with you. That's what this is all about. With that all done, let's get into this preview of the Bills Patriots. These teams know each other very well, and the two matchups that they were already in had completely different feels to them. The first one is that infamous 3-pass game from Mac Jones in those ridiculous conditions, and I'm not sure really that there's much that we can take away from that, besides the fact that Bill Belichick added another way to win to his repertoire. In the second game, Josh Allen completely took over. He led his team in rushing. He threw for 3 scores and over 300 yards in it, and he carried the Bills to that monster win, and that one was one that ultimately ended up giving them home field in this matchup. Points are going to be at a premium in this game. It is very likely, as these are the two league's best scoring defenses. For the team previews, I'm going to start in Buffalo, and the Bills played 17 games just like everyone else, but they are easily the biggest unknown of all the playoff teams. They can look absolutely spectacular at times and nigh unstoppable. They did that early in the season when most thought that they were going to run away with a trip to the Super Bowl. They can also completely embarrass themselves like they did in that loss to the Jaguars 9-6 and that Colts debacle where they got drubbed 41-15. That inconsistency in performance is not going to get it done when everything is on the line. The good news here is that Buffalo finally found a running game and consistency in it that didn't exist from Josh Allen alone. Devin Singletary has filled that need nicely. He's stepped up when the Bills have needed it most. Prior to that commitment to Singletary, it was almost comical to try to see the Bills move the ball on the ground unless it was Josh Allen toting it. Now, it should not have to simply be the Josh Allen show this time around. Stefon Diggs certainly did not have the start that many were expecting, but he finished off the season nicely. He scored in 3 out of his last 4 games, and he totaled over 1,200 yards on the season. Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders proved to be worthy compliments in the passing game, the latter of which we are still waiting to hear on his knee injury and if he's going to be able to go. We also like to talk about Dawson Knox here, who came out of absolute nowhere to give Allen a dangerous weapon when it comes to short yardage and goal line situations. He ended the year with 9 touchdowns. He's likely going to have to step up once again to support this young QB, as the corners in New England are just so dangerous. Allen's encore year after that MVP type run last year was epic, but it was not without fault. He threw 15 interceptions, that was 3rd most in the NFL, and at times he struggled with his accuracy as well. That being said, he also accounted for nearly 5,200 yards of total offense, and he scored 42 total touchdowns as the do-it-all cog in the Buffalo machine. He was often asked to do far too much to carry this team, but I doubt that Bill Belichick makes it easy on him to do that once again in this matchup. The Bills were the 7th best team in the league at scoring touchdowns in the red zone, and that is going to be critical against the Patriots. Every point here is going to be huge. There was also a bit of that inconsistency on the defensive side of the ball for Buffalo as well. One of the strengths early on in the season was that ferocious run defense. It actually became a weakness as the season wore on. The Bills will not be able to get away with that type of game against the Patriots, and they clearly saw an advantage of it in the first one when they only threw 3 passes. It is going to be a long day for the Bills if they do not get that figured out this time around. Even after losing all-pro cornerback Tre'Davious White, the Bills' secondary was as shut down as they come, and they can give opponents fits. Jordan Poyer and Michael Hyde are dangerous on the back end. Each of them had 5 interceptions. That is tied for 4th most in the NFL. They're going to make Mac Jones think twice about trying to beat them over the top. Buffalo does not get to the quarterback with just 1 or 2 guys, and they had just 1 player record over 4 sacks on the season. But they did rack up 42 total as a unit, and they pressured the quarterback more than any other team in the NFL. They have studs at every level, as linebacker Matt Milano finished in the top 10 with 15 tackles for loss. He has been in the system here for a very long time, and he can ensure his guys are in the correct spot. The Bills as a unit play solid, smart, and fast team defense, and they are not usually prone to big mistakes. Their communication is excellent, and they are well coached, as Leslie Frazier has done a good enough job where he's potentially going to get a head coaching opportunity at the end of the season here. Buffalo led the league, allowing just 17 points per game. On the coaching side of things, Sean McDermott has done a solid job rebounding this season, as the Bills went from the potential best team in the NFL to fighting to stay alive in the playoff race, and then ending on a hot streak and winning the division. All that is left here is to get the Bills over the hump and into the Super Bowl, where they came just short last year, and that was an expectation that they would be able to do that this year. He knows, he understands, and he trusts his team, but there is no time left for games off. It remains to be seen if he can finish that final piece. Pivoting to New England, the Patriots play an offense that fits an old school mindset. They ranked 8th in the NFL in rushing yardage, averaging 126 yards a game, and surprisingly, at least for me, they actually ranked in the top half in passing yardage as well, with Mac Jones at the helm. Everything here is set up by their rushing attack. However, they have one of the best 1-2 combos in the league in that backfield. We start with Damian Harris. He was PFF's top-ranked running back on the season, and rookie Ramondre Stevenson was not far behind him. He was first among all rookie backs. Together, they racked up over 1,500 yards and scored 12 times, and both of them have shown the ability to carry the load themselves if necessary. Behind one of the best offensive lines in the league, it is a tough combination to stop, and that is why the Patriots were 6th in scoring in the NFL. They averaged over 27 points a game themselves. They will wear you down until you inevitably crumble. There are many a time when Mac Jones didn't look like a rookie at all, but that changed towards the end of the year, and he has to be at least slightly concerning for Patriots fans. He threw for a respectable 3,800 yards, but it is the 22 touchdown to 13 interception ratio that really sticks out. Part of the issue there is certainly that they do not have a true number 1 wide receiving threat in this offense. No offense to Jacoby Myers, but he doesn't really move the needle, and the rest of the group of the wide receiver room leaves a lot to be desired. The spending spree in the offseason that New England went with really worked out, as Hunter Henry had 9 touchdowns. That was almost twice as many as the next closest receiver. He is the red zone threat for Mac Jones, and that's the one he hones in on. Jones has played in big games for much of his career, but this is the NFL, and the jitters are going to get you killed. If he makes a mistake early on and he cannot recover, this game could certainly get out of hand quickly. I do, however, expect that Bill Belichick is going to have him as ready as he could possibly be, and Josh McDaniels is going to be able to support him with some easy throws early to allow him to settle in. If they can avoid turning the ball over, I think the Patriots have an excellent chance at the upset. Now to the defense, where New England was absolutely dominant for much of the season, and while they did fall off a little bit for the last month or so, they are still bringing everything necessary to the table for a deep playoff run. Matthew Judon, coming over from Baltimore, was a godsend for this team, and his 12.5 sacks led the team and accounted for more of a third than New England's total. They had 36 as a unit. On the back end, J.C. Jackson is one of the elite shutdown quarters in the league. He was 2nd in the NFL with 8 picks. He can lock down and take out almost any number one wide receiver. He is supported by an excellent back end in that secondary with Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips, and Devin McCourty, all registering at least 3 picks as well. Where they struggle is in stopping the run game up front. They allowed 4.5 yards a carry on the season. That is bottom 10 numbers in the entire league. It would be wise for the Bills here to attack the only potential crack in the armor. To beat the Patriots, you're going to have to play patient. You're going to have to take what they give you, and they're not going to be able to make mistakes because the Patriots will not beat themselves. We all know that Bill Belichick is going to have a master plan in the works. He is the best to ever do it, and he gives New England a distinct advantage every time that they take the field. This is going to be his biggest test yet, and that is making a Super Bowl run with a rookie quarterback. That has never been done before. However, Bill already did the next best thing, taking the second-year GOAT in the making all the way to win it all with just 14 games under his belt. Can he do the real thing this year? We will find out. In this matchup, I believe the Patriots are going to do everything they can to dictate the pace of this game and keep the ball out of the hands of Josh Allen. And as simple as it may sound, this game comes down to one thing. Can the Bills find a way to stop the run? I do not believe that Mac Jones has the ability to win this game with his arm, and I feel that Buffalo is going to sell out early to try to make that happen. The longer that this game stays close, I think the more that it favors New England, but I have a sense that the Bills have too much riding on this season after the way last year ended to fall short once again. They are going to be hungrier of the two teams, and I think that is going to be the difference. The Patriots are certainly going to be back, but this is Josh Allen's time. He takes over and he moves the Bills one more step closer to redemption. My pick is the Bills 27 and the Patriots 20. And that is all I have for you guys in this game preview. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you learned something. And if you did, please drop a like and please subscribe. It means the world to me. If you guys disagree with any of my takes or anything that I was talking about, I would love to engage with you. Drop a comment down below. This is Relentless Press. I'm your host, Abraham Opatz, and we'll see you next time.